Never reveal your plans. The Power of Silence and Private Growth. Written and published by Echo Tales. Introduction. Never reveal your plans. The Power of Silence and Private Growth. There is a quiet power in this world. It does not shout. It does not beg for attention. It works in silence and wins in private. This book is about that power. The power of silence, the strength of privacy, the art of growing quietly while the world watches in confusion. We live in a time where everyone shares everything: dreams, goals, plans, even failures. But what most people don't realize is this: the more you talk, the less you do. The louder you speak, the weaker your focus becomes. Success does not grow under bright lights. It grows in the shadows of discipline. It matures in moments of quiet work that no one sees. And when it finally appears, it surprises everyone, except you. This book will show you how to master that silence. You will learn how to protect your energy, guard your plans, and build quietly. You will understand why keeping things private is not secrecy. It is strategy. You will see how silence becomes a shield, and focus becomes your greatest weapon. Each chapter will take you deeper into this philosophy. You will learn how to stop oversharing, how to avoid the noise, how to let your work speak long before you do. You will discover the beauty of working without applause, the peace that comes from not needing validation, and the unstoppable power of revealing only when it's done. This book is not about hiding. It is about becoming so focused, so intentional that your silence speaks success. It is about private growth, growth that cannot be interrupted, questioned or drained. So as you listen, open your mind. Let the noise fade away. Let your goals breathe in silence. Because when you learn to move quietly, you start to rise powerfully. Welcome to Never Reveal Your Plans. Let's begin the journey of silent strength and private growth. Chapter 1. The Trap of Talking Too Soon. From the book Never Reveal Your Plans, vertical bar. The Power of Silence and Private Growth. There's a strange moment that happens when you tell someone your plans. You feel a spark of excitement, a wave of pride. You start to imagine the success as if it's already real. People nod, smile, and maybe even say that's amazing. And for a short time, you feel fulfilled, almost as if you've already achieved it. But here's the truth. That feeling is dangerous. It's the first trap of personal growth. It's the trap of talking too soon. The illusion of progress. When you speak your plans out loud too early, something strange happens in your mind. Psychologists call it the illusion of progress. Your brain releases the same reward chemicals, dopamine and serotonin, that you would normally feel after taking real action. You feel accomplished, even though nothing has happened yet. It's like standing at the starting line of a race, telling everyone you're going to win, and then walking off the track satisfied. You haven't run, you haven't struggled, but your mind tricks you into thinking you have. Many dreams die at that very moment, not because of failure, but because of exposure. You talked about it before. It had the chance to grow roots. The power of private beginnings. Think about the seed of a tree. Before it grows tall, it grows downward. It builds roots in silence, deep underground, unseen and uncelebrated. If you dig it up too soon to show people, it never grows again. Your plans are the same. They need privacy to develop strength. They need silence to gather energy. When you reveal them too early, you expose them to noise, opinions and doubts that weaken your resolve. In the early stages of your goals, what you need most is protection, not praise. The applause can wait. The weight of opinions. When you share your goals too soon, you invite opinions you never asked for. Someone might tell you it's impossible. Someone else might say they tried and failed. Another person might laugh or question your ability. Even if you're strong, those words plant small seeds of doubt. And doubt, once planted, grows fast. It starts small. Maybe they're right. Then it spreads. Maybe I'm not ready. And before long, your plan loses energy. You start working to prove people wrong instead of pursuing your true purpose. Silence, on the other hand, protects you. It keeps your focus clean. It allows your motivation to come from within, not from the outside world. Real-world example. The silent builder. There's a story about a man who wanted to start his own business. He told his friends, his co-workers, and even his neighbors. Everyone praised him. They called him brave, ambitious and visionary. For weeks he talked about his idea. The branding, the marketing, the big plans. But months later, he had nothing to show. He had spent his energy talking instead of building. Now compare that with another man who had the same dream. He told no one. He worked late at night, saved his money, and quietly built his foundation. When he finally opened his business, people were shocked. They said, "When did you do all this?" His answer was simple: "While you were talking, I was working." That is the difference between noise and action, between dreams that fade and dreams that form. The social media trap. In today's world, we share everything, every thought, every goal, every next move. We announce before we act. We post before we perform. Social media has turned many dreams into performances. You tell the world your plan and wait for validation, hearts, likes, and praise. But here's the danger. Each time someone praises your plan, your mind feels the same satisfaction it would get from actually achieving it. So you lose your hunger. Silence keeps you hungry. It keeps you grounded. It makes you focus on the work, not the image. When you stay silent, you are not withholding. You are investing your energy in the right place. The discipline of quiet action. Silence is not just about keeping secrets. It's about discipline. It's about training yourself to let your progress be the proof. Instead of saying, "I'm going to start working out," just show up every day until people start noticing. Instead of saying, "I'm going to launch a brand," build it quietly until the launch speaks for itself. Instead of declaring, "I'm going to change my life," simply start changing. Words are easy. Action is rare. Silence makes action your language. Protect the fire. Every dream starts as a small flame. It's fragile, easily blown out by doubt, distraction, or pride. When you speak too early, you expose that flame to the wind. Keep it protected until it grows into something strong, a fire that can't be ignored. Once it's burning bright, you won't need to tell anyone what you're doing. They'll see it. How to stay silent but active. Here are simple steps to avoid the trap of talking too soon. Keep your goals private until progress is visible. Let people see results, not intentions. Replace talk with journaling. Write your goals to yourself, not to the world. Set milestones in silence. Celebrate privately when you hit them. Avoid sharing during early stages. The more fragile the plan, the more silence it needs. Let feedback come from results. Once people see what you've built, they'll give genuine respect, not empty approval. Closing reflection. Talking too soon is a comfort trap. It feels like movement, but it stops momentum. It satisfies the ego but starves the dream. When you stay silent, you create pressure inside you, the right kind of pressure. It's the force that drives creation, innovation and transformation. So resist the urge to announce. Guard your plans like treasures. And remember, the world doesn't need to hear what you will do. It needs to see what you've done. Because when you stop talking and start doing, you become unstoppable. Chapter 2. Silence builds focus. There's something powerful that happens when you step away from noise. When the world around you gets quiet, your mind begins to clear. Your thoughts slow down. You start to see what truly matters. In silence, focus is born. And focus is the birthplace of all achievement. The mind needs quiet to see clearly. Imagine a lake on a windy day. The surface ripples and twists, reflecting nothing but chaos. But when the wind stops, when the water grows still, you can finally see the reflection of the sky. Your mind works the same way. When you're surrounded by noise, messages, opinions, updates, and endless talk, your focus scatters. You think of too many things at once. You start to chase distractions disguised as opportunities. But when you withdraw into silence, your thoughts begin to settle. You can see your direction clearly. You stop reacting and start deciding. Silence is not emptiness. It's alignment. The cost of constant noise. Most people never experience true silence anymore. They wake up to notifications. They fall asleep to background noise. And every quiet moment feels uncomfortable, even wrong. But the truth is, constant noise has a cost. It steals clarity. It scatters focus. It keeps you busy but not effective. Noise is addictive. It gives you the illusion of being connected, informed and engaged. But in reality, it keeps you distracted from the work that actually moves your life forward. You cannot focus deeply if you're always reacting to the world around you. To master your focus, you must master silence, the silent space of growth. Great thinkers, creators, and leaders throughout history have all valued silence. They understood that solitude is not isolation. It is preparation. Leonardo da Vinci once said, "Silence strengthens authority." He knew that quiet thinking creates powerful action. When you pull back from the noise, you enter what I call the silent space of growth. It's that moment when your ideas have room to breathe, when your intuition becomes louder than the voices around you, when your purpose begins to speak in whispers, not from others, but from within. It's in that space where real breakthroughs happen. Real-world example: the focused creator. Consider the story of a young designer who dreamed of building his own creative agency. At first he shared his goals with everyone, posting his plans, seeking feedback, asking for opinions. Each comment pulled him in a new direction. He was creating but not focused. He was working but not growing. One day he decided to go silent. He stopped sharing every step. He closed his social apps. He spent hours alone, learning, sketching, refining his craft. In the quiet, his focus sharpened. He began producing his best work. Months later he launched his agency, confident, clear, and ready. People were amazed at his sudden success. But the truth was simple. It wasn't sudden at all. It was built in silence. Silence protects your energy. Noise drains energy faster than work ever will. Every unnecessary conversation, every argument, every distraction, they all steal focus and leave you empty. Silence refuels you. It recharges your mental battery. It gives you back control over what gets your attention. When you choose silence, you are not disconnecting from life. You are reconnecting with your purpose. Protecting your focus doesn't mean ignoring the world. It means choosing when and how to engage with it. It means filtering what deserves your time and what doesn't. Silence is your filter. The focus ritual. If you want to sharpen your focus, begin each day with a few moments of quiet. No phone, no talking, just stillness. In that moment, ask yourself 3 simple questions. What truly matters today? What will move me closer to my goal? What can I let go of right now? You'll be amazed how clarity appears when noise disappears. This small ritual can transform your mindset and strengthen your focus more than hours of busy work ever could. The confidence of quiet people. People often mistake silence for weakness. They think talkers lead and quiet ones follow. But in reality, the quiet person often sees what the loud person misses. Because silence sharpens observation, the quiet person notices patterns. They listen deeply. They see opportunities hidden in plain sight. When you build the habit of silence, you build self-trust. You no longer need to announce your ideas for validation. You begin to trust your own judgment, your own instincts, your own timing. And that is the foundation of unstoppable focus. Actionable steps for building focus through silence. Create silent hours. Block at least 1 hour a day, with no noise, no distractions, no input. Use it for deep work or reflection. Limit information intake. Learn to say no to unnecessary content. Protect your mind from overload. Listen more than you speak. In conversations, practice the art of listening completely before responding. You'll understand more and react less. Spend time alone. Solitude strengthens self-awareness. It's where you reconnect with your vision and goals. End your day in silence. Before sleep, take 5 minutes to breathe and reflect, not on what went wrong but on what you learned. These small habits create powerful mental discipline. They train your mind to remain calm, clear, and centered, no matter how loud the world becomes. Closing reflection. Focus is fragile. It can't survive in chaos. It needs silence to grow strong. When you learn to love silence, you gain control over your attention. You stop chasing everything and start choosing what matters. You move from reaction to creation. The world around you may still be loud. People will still talk. But inside you there will be stillness, a calm space where your purpose lives. In that space ideas come easier, discipline feels natural, and success becomes not something you chase but something you attract. So learn to silence the world around you. Listen to the voice within, because silence isn't the absence of sound, it's the presence of focus. Chapter 3. Work in shadows. Shine in light. Every masterpiece begins in the dark. Every breakthrough starts unseen. Every great success story begins quietly, behind closed doors, away from the noise, away from the audience. The world often celebrates the moment you shine, but few understand the shadows where you were shaped. Working in silence is not about hiding, it's about preparing. It's about building strength where no one can interrupt your progress. To work in shadows means to grow without validation, to stay focused without applause, and when the time comes, to step into the light fully ready, not half-formed. The myth of instant success. When people see someone rise quickly, they call it luck. They say, it happened overnight. But nothing happens overnight. The truth is, the person they see in the spotlight spent years in the shadows, practicing, learning, failing, and refining. Every visible success has invisible work behind it. Look at any athlete, artist or entrepreneur you admire. Their shining moments are built on unseen effort, early mornings, late nights, and quiet sacrifices that no one claps for. The shadow is not your prison. It's your workshop. Why the shadows matter. The shadows are where you learn who you really are. They are free from opinions, expectations, and pressure. They are where you can experiment, make mistakes and improve without judgment. When you work quietly, you are free to fail without fear. You can restart without ridicule. You can focus on progress instead of performance. This is the space where real mastery happens. The light reveals, but the shadow refines. The problem with seeking constant visibility is that it rushes your process. You begin performing instead of progressing, and performance without progress is emptiness disguised as success. Real-world example: the hidden season. There was once a young musician with big dreams. He wanted fame, recognition and applause. He performed in public constantly, but his skills were not yet sharp. People's criticism broke his confidence. Then one day, he made a decision to disappear. He stopped performing for a while and began practicing alone. Every day he studied the craft. He rewrote songs, perfected his voice, and learned from his mistakes in silence. Months turned into years, and when he finally returned to the stage, something had changed. His performance was powerful, his confidence unshakable. People were amazed by his sudden transformation, but there was nothing sudden about it. He had simply done the hard work in the shadows where no one was watching. The confidence that comes from preparation. There's a certain calm that only preparation can give. When you've spent enough time in the shadows, the spotlight doesn't scare you. It doesn't overwhelm you, because you're not there to prove yourself. You're there to reveal what you've already built. This is the quiet confidence of those who prepare in private. They don't rush their process. They don't chase attention. They know that real power is built quietly and revealed naturally. When your foundation is strong, you can stand in any light without shaking. The danger of early exposure. Some people crave visibility too soon. They want to show results before the work is ready. They want recognition before they've earned it. But early exposure is like pulling a seed from the soil before it has roots. It might look like it's growing, but it won't last. Growth needs time in the dark. Your goals need incubation, a period of quiet effort before they face the world. When you work too publicly, every small setback becomes a performance. You stop learning freely because you fear judgment. But when you work privately, you can fail safely and rise stronger. The shadows protect your growth from premature judgment. The power of surprise. There's a certain magic in revealing your success only after it's done. People remember those who emerge, the ones who rise without warning. Think of the inventors, artists or entrepreneurs who suddenly appear with something remarkable. The world calls them geniuses, but the truth is, they were working quietly all along. Surprise is a powerful strategy. It gives you the advantage of peace while you build, and the advantage of impact when you reveal. People respect what they didn't expect. When your work speaks first, you never have to defend yourself with words. Silent work, visible mastery. There's a story about a bamboo tree that perfectly explains this idea. When a bamboo seed is planted, it does not grow above the ground for years. It spends that time building deep roots beneath the surface. But once it breaks through, it grows over 80 feet tall. In just a few weeks. People call it fast growth. But it's not. It's prepared growth. You are the same. When you spend time in the shadows, learning, building, strengthening, you're developing roots. When the time is right, your growth will appear unstoppable. The difference between success that lasts and success that fades is what happens in the unseen years. How to work in shadows and shine in light. Create a private workspace whether physical or mental. Make a space where you can work without distractions or outside opinions. Keep your goals close. Share less. Protect your vision until it becomes real. Focus on progress, not proof. Let your results be your evidence, not your promises. Embrace the hidden season. Every great transformation requires time in silence. Don't rush your process. Plan your reveal strategically. When the work is ready, let it speak naturally. The world will notice. The light finds the ready. You don't need to chase attention. You don't need to fight for recognition. When your work is excellent, the light will find you. People will notice the quality. They will feel the depth of your preparation. They will see your consistency. And that's the beauty of it. The world rewards those who master their craft in private. So stay patient. Stay quiet. Keep working in the shadows until your results are undeniable. Because when you finally step into the light, you won't need to say a word. Your work will speak for you. Closing reflection. The shadows are not your enemy. They are your training ground. They are where your discipline deepens, where your vision strengthens, where your greatness begins. Most people rush toward the light too soon and burn out before they shine. But those who embrace the quiet, they last. They build substance, not just style. They master the art of becoming before being seen. So remember this. Work in silence. Stay patient. Grow in private. And when it's time to step into the light, do it with power, purpose, and peace. Because real success doesn't need to be announced. It simply appears. Chapter 4. The Psychology of Privacy. Privacy is not secrecy. It is power. It is the invisible armor that protects your focus, your peace, and your purpose. In a world that constantly demands attention, being private is an act of strength. It's not about hiding. It's about choosing what, when, and to whom you reveal your life. Most people underestimate how deeply privacy affects performance, mindset, and confidence. But the truth is, privacy is psychological fuel. It gives you clarity, it gives you control, and it gives you freedom. The mind works better when it feels safe. Your mind needs safety to think clearly. It needs space to imagine without fear of judgment. When you keep your plans private, your mind feels secure. It can explore new ideas freely. It can take risks in thought before taking them in action. But when you expose your ideas too early, the pressure begins. You start worrying about how others will react. You fear being misunderstood, criticized, or ignored. That fear shifts your focus from creating to protecting. You stop thinking boldly and start thinking defensively. And soon the vision that once felt exciting becomes heavy and uncertain. Privacy removes that mental weight. It frees your creativity from expectation. The ego loves exposure, but the soul needs privacy. There are two forces within every person, the ego and the soul. The ego wants attention. It wants recognition and praise. It thrives on being seen. The soul wants growth. It wants peace and purpose. It thrives on being aligned, not admired. When you constantly reveal your plans, you feed the ego. You satisfy the short-term desire for validation. But when you keep things private, you feed the soul. You nurture the long-term desire for meaning. Privacy helps you silence the ego's hunger for attention and strengthen the soul's hunger for mastery. It shifts your motivation from "look at me" to "let me become better." The psychological burden of exposure. Every time you share a plan, you create invisible pressure. People start watching. They expect results. And even if they mean well, their expectations can weigh on your mind. You begin to perform instead of progress. You start worrying about how it looks instead of how it feels. You focus on appearances rather than alignment. This is why many people struggle to follow through. Their energy goes into maintaining an image instead of building a foundation. When your journey is private, you don't owe explanations. You don't have to justify your pace, your process, or your progress. You simply focus on growing. That's the psychology of freedom, the mental clarity that comes when your journey belongs only to you. Real-world example: the silent innovator. Consider the story of a software developer who dreamed of creating a revolutionary app. At first, he shared every update online. Mock-ups, concepts, and ideas. People flooded him with opinions. Some loved it, others didn't. Some offered advice, others gave criticism that shook his confidence. Soon he found himself designing to please others instead of following his vision. He lost focus, he lost energy, so he made a decision to go silent. He stopped talking and started building privately. No updates, no announcements, just pure focus. Months later he released the app. It was innovative, simple and powerful, and it succeeded, not because of outside noise but because of quiet dedication. The difference was privacy. It gave him the mental space to think, create, and finish. Privacy strengthens decision-making. When you keep your plans private, your choices become your own. You are not influenced by every opinion or emotion that surrounds you. Too much exposure clouds judgment. You begin to second-guess yourself. You seek approval instead of trusting your instincts. But when you stay private, you listen to your own voice more closely. You notice your inner signals. You make decisions based on logic, not pressure. Privacy gives you back ownership of your mind, and that ownership is the foundation of strong leadership and self-trust. The peace of being unknown. There is peace in being unknown. Peace in not having to prove yourself every day. Peace in building quietly while no one watches. In privacy you can rest. You can recover. You can learn without an audience. Fame and exposure may seem attractive, but they come with noise, opinions, comparisons, expectations. Privacy gives you silence, and silence gives you strength. The quieter your world becomes, the more control you gain over your inner world. And when your inner world is strong, the outer one can't shake you. Actionable ways to protect your privacy. Set boundaries online and offline. Not everyone deserves access to your personal life or progress. Share only what is complete. Reveal results, not intentions. Speak when the work is ready. Keep your circle small. Trust only those who have earned it through loyalty and understanding. Guard your emotional energy. Avoid discussing dreams with people who drain your confidence or question your purpose. Practice solitude regularly. Spend time alone with your thoughts to strengthen your inner clarity. These simple habits preserve not only your privacy but also your power. They allow your energy to flow toward creation, not explanation. The psychological shift. When you embrace privacy, you shift from performing for others to building for yourself. You stop needing constant reassurance. You stop comparing your progress to others. You start moving with quiet confidence. This shift changes everything. Your pace, your decisions, your results. You no longer chase approval. You create it naturally through your actions. Privacy is not about silence alone. It's about focus. It's about control. It's about owning your path completely. Closing reflection. Privacy is power because it gives you freedom of thought. It removes the weight of opinions, the distraction of praise and the fear of judgment. When you master privacy, you become unpredictable, peaceful and unshakable. No one can interfere with what they do not know. No one can stop what they cannot see. So keep your roots deep and your silence intentional. Let the world see only what is ready. Let your progress grow quietly beneath the surface. Because the psychology of privacy is simple. What grows in silence grows strong. And when it's time to reveal it, it will not need defense. It will speak for itself. Chapter 5. The Power of Mystery. Mystery is magnetic. It draws attention without asking for it. It creates curiosity without words. It earns respect without explanation. In a world where everyone shares everything, mystery has become rare, and that rarity makes it powerful. The person who speaks less is often listened to more. The one who moves quietly commands greater presence than the one who shouts for it. Mystery is not manipulation. It is mastery. The ability to let your actions speak while your silence builds intrigue. It's about knowing that when people can't predict you, they can't control you. Why mystery captivates the human mind. The human brain loves questions. It is wired to seek answers, to fill in the blanks. When something is unknown, it becomes fascinating. That's why movies use suspense, stories use secrets, and great leaders use pauses. Mystery keeps people engaged. It activates curiosity, the deepest form of attention. When you reveal everything too soon, you remove that natural tension. You make yourself predictable, and predictability weakens perception. But when you hold back, even slightly, people begin to wonder. They think about what you might be doing, what you might know, or what might come next. That curiosity creates influence. Quiet, lasting influence. The difference between being seen and being studied. People who overshare are seen, but only for a moment. People who carry mystery are studied, remembered and respected. Think about the people who inspire you most. They often speak less and act more. They have a certain calm about them, a quiet control. You don't know everything about them, and that's what draws you in. Mystery creates depth. It gives people something to sense, not just something to see. It builds a reputation of strength without needing words. When you are mysterious, people may not understand you, but they cannot ignore you. Real-world example. The silent visionary. There once was a young entrepreneur who rarely posted about his work. He didn't talk about his next move. He didn't share every thought or plan online. People around him wondered what he was building. Rumors spread. Curiosity grew. When he finally launched his company, it wasn't small. It was a complete, well-prepared success. Investors respected his discipline. Competitors admired his focus. Customers trusted his brand. The mystery he created worked in his favor. While others wasted energy showing progress, he used his energy to make progress. That's the power of mystery. It builds attention without effort. Mystery protects your process. When no one knows your next move, they can't interfere with it. They can't criticize what they can't see. They can't copy what they don't understand. Mystery gives you space to grow without resistance. It keeps competitors guessing and doubters confused. It gives you a mental advantage, because while others are distracted by exposure, you're guided by focus. Mystery also protects your emotional energy. When people know too much, they begin to expect too much. They push you, question you, and sometimes hope you fail. But when you move quietly, they can only watch in wonder. The balance between openness and mystery. Being mysterious doesn't mean being cold or distant. It means being intentional with what you share. You can be kind, genuine, and authentic, while still being private about your next steps. You can express your values without exposing your vision. You can build relationships without losing your boundaries. The key is balance. You don't have to disappear completely. Just stop revealing everything. Let people see your results, not your rehearsals. Let them feel your confidence, not your blueprints. When you speak, speak with purpose. When you act, let your actions reveal what your words never could. The silent power of anticipation. There's something unforgettable about anticipation. It creates tension, the good kind. It makes people look forward to your next move. Think about an artist who disappears between projects. When they finally release something new, the world stops to listen. Why? Because they built mystery through silence. Mystery adds weight to your presence. It makes every action meaningful. It keeps people engaged without demanding attention. You don't have to post daily updates or explain every choice. You simply have to do your work so well that people wait for your next appearance. That's not arrogance. That's discipline. How to build healthy mystery. Say less. Do more. Speak when it adds value. Act when it creates results. Avoid explaining your every move. You don't owe anyone your timeline. Keep your direction clear, but private. Let your work reveal your story. People respect results. Let outcomes speak for themselves. Be unpredictable in progress. Don't announce every step. Surprise creates momentum. Master calm confidence. You don't have to defend your silence. Quiet people often have the strongest presence. These simple practices help you maintain a mysterious edge, while staying authentic and grounded. Mystery builds respect. People respect what they don't fully understand. They question what they cannot easily define. And that questioning creates space for admiration. Mystery makes others approach you with curiosity rather than assumption. It keeps your reputation clean because people can't twist what they don't know. It also gives your words more weight. When you speak rarely, people listen more carefully. When you act purposefully, every action becomes memorable. Mystery turns ordinary communication into influence. Closing reflection. Mystery is not about hiding who you are. It's about showing who you are, with precision, purpose and timing. When you live with mystery, you protect your focus, your peace and your strength. You move through life with quiet confidence, not loud insecurity. You let your light appear naturally, not through force. So hold back a little. Let silence create suspense. Let your progress surprise people. Let your results speak before you do. Because when your life carries mystery, it carries power. And when your silence builds curiosity, your presence commands respect. The world talks too much, but the one who masters mystery rules the room without saying a word. Chapter 6. Noise versus results. Noise is everywhere. It fills our world, our screens, and sometimes even our minds. It comes from the constant need to be seen, to be heard, and to prove that we're doing something. But here's the truth. Noise doesn't move you forward. Results do. You can make noise all day. Post about your goals. Talk about your progress. Tell everyone how hard you're working. But if there's no result, the noise fades quickly. The people who truly rise in life are not the loudest. They are the most consistent. They are the ones too focused to talk and too busy to explain. The illusion of progress through noise. Noise gives the illusion of momentum. It feels like activity, but it's not productivity. It's movement without direction. When you talk about what you're doing, it gives your brain a false sense of accomplishment. You feel rewarded without having earned it. It's the same dopamine rush you get from a like or a comment online. Short-lived and empty. That's why so many people stay stuck. They spend their energy showing the world they're doing something, instead of actually doing it. They confuse attention for achievement. The quiet worker doesn't need that. They don't chase the feeling of progress. They chase the fact of progress. And that makes all the difference. The weight of empty words. Words can be powerful, but only when backed by action. When you speak too much and deliver too little, your words lose value. Your promises become background noise. It's like a drummer who never stops hitting the cymbals. After a while, no one listens. People respect consistency more than chatter. They don't remember what you said you would do. They remember what you actually did. The problem is, in today's culture, everyone wants to be visible immediately. We're told that we need to build a personal brand, to put ourselves out there. And yes, visibility has its place, but only when results are real. If your foundation isn't solid, visibility will only expose your weakness. Real-world example. The quiet builder. There was a young architect who wanted to make his mark. He saw others posting daily updates, promoting projects, and talking about success. He felt the pressure to do the same, but instead of chasing noise, he chose a different path. He worked in silence. He studied deeply, refined his designs, and spent long nights improving his craft. He didn't post. He didn't brag. He built. Years later, one of his projects won a national design award. The same people who had ignored his quiet work now praised his talent. He didn't need to announce anything. His results spoke for him. Noise gets attention for a moment. Results earn respect for a lifetime. Noise is easy. Results are earned. It's easy to talk. It's easy to appear busy. It's easy to join every conversation and give the illusion of progress. But real results require silence, effort, and patience. They require hours of unseen work, uncomfortable consistency, and quiet persistence. Noise says, "Look at me." Results say, "Watch what happens." Noise seeks validation. Results create proof. And when you learn to value proof over praise, you enter a different league of growth. One where energy is used to build, not broadcast. The hidden cost of noise. Noise is not harmless. It drains your focus. It divides your attention. It makes you reactive instead of intentional. When you're focused on how things look, you stop focusing on how things work. You start working for approval instead of excellence. Every moment spent explaining your goals is a moment stolen from achieving them. Every time you announce your next move, you invite distraction. Silence, on the other hand, saves your energy. It keeps your power contained. It builds momentum that grows naturally, without needing an audience. The loud may get noticed first, but the consistent are remembered last. The science of focus and flow. Psychologists call it the flow state. The moment when you are so focused that time disappears. In that state, creativity and performance reach their peak. But you can't reach flow in noise. Every interruption, every opinion, every need to share your progress breaks your rhythm. Your brain resets. Your concentration weakens. That's why silent focus produces faster, higher quality results. You think clearly. You execute precisely. You finish what you start. Noise scatters energy. Silence channels it. Real power needs no announcement. The sun doesn't announce it's rising. It simply appears. And everything changes. That's how you must approach your work. You don't need to tell the world you're evolving. You don't need to defend your silence. Just build. Just grow. Just deliver. When your results arrive, they'll speak more loudly than your words ever could. And the best part, no one will see it coming. Quiet progress shocks people. They underestimate you because they can't measure what they can't see. Then one day your results appear, undeniable and complete, and they're left wondering how you did it. You did it by choosing focus over noise. Actionable principles for a noise-free life. Don't announce, demonstrate. Speak only when there's something real to show. Measure work, not attention. Track progress in results, not reactions. Disconnect often. Silence the world to listen to your mind. Stay humble while you grow. Confidence whispers. Insecurity shouts. Let your achievements do the talking. Results are the loudest form of communication. These principles keep your focus intact and your growth steady. They remind you that silence is not the absence of sound. It's the presence of strength. The respect that results bring. People may ignore you when you're quiet, but they'll respect you when you deliver. That's the balance you want. Noise may bring temporary applause. Results bring lasting influence. It's the difference between a spark and a flame. A spark makes light quickly, then dies out. A flame grows slowly, but once it burns it endures. When you build in silence, your flame lasts. It burns brighter, steadier, and longer. Closing reflection. Noise feeds the ego. Results feed the legacy. You must choose which one you're building. You can't chase both. Silence gives you space to think, to act, and to grow. It allows your results to mature before they're revealed. It gives you peace, and peace sharpens focus. So the next time you feel tempted to announce your progress, remember this. Noise fades. Results remain. Let others talk. Let them post. You, on the other hand, stay silent and build. Because when the work is done and the results appear, you won't need to prove anything. You'll simply be undeniable. Chapter 7. Protect your energy and vision. Your energy is your currency. Your vision is your compass. Together they determine how far you go, how focused you stay, and how much you grow. But here's the challenge. Both energy and vision are fragile. They can be drained by noise, weakened by negativity, and stolen by distraction. Protecting your energy and vision isn't selfish. It's essential, because without them, even the strongest plans fall apart. You can have talent, intelligence, and opportunity, but if your energy is scattered, your direction fades. If your vision becomes cloudy, your purpose weakens. The most successful people are not always the most talented. They are the ones who guard their energy like treasure, and protect their vision like life itself. The hidden cost of leaking energy. Every day your energy leaks in small ways. A pointless argument, a scroll through negativity, a conversation that adds no value. Each one steals a little of your focus and drive. You may not notice it immediately, but over time these small leaks drain your strength. They make you tired, unmotivated and unfocused, not because you've worked too hard, but because you've given away your energy carelessly. Energy is like water in a tank. If it keeps leaking, you'll never have enough to power your growth. That's why silence and selectivity matter. Every time you choose not to respond, not to argue, not to explain, you conserve energy. You save it for what truly deserves it. Your work, your vision and your purpose. The vision needs protection too. Your vision is your map. It shows you where to go when the world becomes confusing. But like a fragile plant, it needs the right environment to grow. When you share your vision with too many people, you expose it to doubt and distortion. Some will misunderstand it. Some will criticize it. Others may try to reshape it into something that fits their comfort zone. And slowly you stop seeing your vision clearly. It starts to reflect their fears instead of your faith. That's why your vision must be protected like a sacred truth. Not everyone needs to understand it. Not everyone deserves to hear it. Protecting your vision means surrounding it with silence until it's strong enough to stand in the light. Real-world example. The focused dreamer. There was a young woman who dreamed of building a wellness brand. When she first shared her idea, everyone had opinions. Some told her it was too hard. Some told her the market was too crowded. Some even laughed. For a moment she began to doubt herself. Her excitement dimmed. Then she made a decision to stop explaining and start executing. She worked quietly for months, refining her products, learning the market and building her confidence. She stopped feeding energy into opinions and redirected it into creation. A year later she launched her brand. It succeeded beyond her expectations. The same people who once doubted her became her biggest supporters. She learned one of life's greatest lessons. Your vision doesn't need to be understood. It needs to be protected. Energy management is focus management. You cannot focus if your energy is constantly scattered. You cannot create if you're constantly reacting. Every task, every person, every thought you engage with either adds to your energy or drains it. The more you say yes to everything, the more you say no to your goals. That's why protecting your energy is not just about rest. It's about boundaries. You must learn to guard your focus like a gatekeeper. Before giving time or attention to something, ask yourself, does this move me closer to my vision, or does it pull me away? That one question can save you years of wasted effort. The emotional side of energy protection. Your emotions shape your energy more than your schedule does. Anger, envy, resentment, they all drain life from your mind. Gratitude, focus, and peace, they refuel it. That's why emotional discipline is a secret skill of high achievers. They don't let small things disturb them. They don't give power to negativity. They keep their emotions aligned with their mission. You can't control everything that happens, but you can control what you give energy to. Protecting your energy means choosing peace over reaction, silence over argument, and focus over distraction. The role of environment. Your environment feeds your energy. If you're surrounded by chaos, your focus will fade. If you're surrounded by inspiration, your mind will expand. The people you spend time with are either charging your battery or draining it. Notice who leaves you tired and who leaves you motivated. Keep the latter close. Distance yourself from the rest. Quietly, respectfully, and without guilt. Your environment also includes your digital space. The content you consume shapes your thoughts. Be selective with what enters your mind. Protect it like a garden. Only allow what nourishes growth. Vision without protection becomes noise. When your vision isn't protected, it becomes vulnerable to noise, opinions, criticism, comparison. You start questioning yourself. You start imitating others. And eventually your original purpose fades beneath the pressure to fit in. Vision needs silence to mature. It needs privacy to evolve naturally, without influence. When you protect your vision, you stay aligned with your truth. You stop chasing trends and start building timeless results. Actionable ways to protect your energy and vision. Start your day quietly. Begin each morning with silence, reflection, or gratitude. Set your mental tone before the world sets it for you. Set energetic boundaries. Learn to say no without guilt. Not every opportunity deserves your attention. Avoid emotional traps. Don't engage in arguments or gossip. They burn energy with no reward. Protect your vision with privacy. Share your dreams only with those who uplift and understand you. Refuel regularly. Rest, read, meditate, or simply disconnect. Silence recharges creativity. Keep reminders of your purpose. A vision board, a quote, or a simple note can keep your energy aligned with your long-term direction. These small steps turn focus into strength and silence into strategy. The energy of purpose. There's a special kind of energy that comes from knowing your why. When your vision is clear, motivation feels effortless. You stop forcing yourself to act. You simply flow. But when your vision becomes clouded by outside noise, even simple actions feel heavy. That's why you must revisit your vision often. Refine it. Reconnect with it. Remind yourself why you started. Because your purpose will always give you more energy than sleep ever could. Closing reflection. Energy and vision are the twin pillars of achievement. Lose one and the other collapses. Your energy powers your journey. Your vision directs it. Both must be guarded carefully. Through silence, boundaries and intention. The more you protect them, the stronger you become. The quieter you grow, the more focused you feel. And when you finally reveal your results, people won't understand how you did it. Because they never saw what you protected. Remember this truth. You don't need to fight for attention. You need to fight for focus. Because when your energy is full and your vision is clear, your growth becomes unstoppable. So protect your mind. Guard your peace. And never hand your power to noise. Because in the end, those who protect their energy and vision don't chase success, they become it. Chapter 8. Choose your circle wisely. No one grows alone. Even the most independent person is shaped by the company they keep. The people around you can lift you higher, or quietly pull you down. That's why one of the greatest forms of silence is selectivity. The quiet decision to be intentional about who gets access to your mind, your time, and your energy. You don't have to announce who you're walking away from. You don't have to explain who you're drawing closer to. Just quietly, carefully, choose your circle wisely. The power of influence. Every conversation plants a seed in your mind. Every relationship either waters your growth or drains your roots. The people you surround yourself with affect how you think, how you act, and even how you see yourself. Their energy becomes the atmosphere you breathe. If you spend time with dreamers, your imagination expands. If you spend time with doubters, your confidence shrinks. If you spend time with talkers, you become one. If you spend time with doers, you start moving. That's how powerful influence is. It shapes you quietly, without permission. Silence helps you see people clearly. When you begin to move in silence, something interesting happens. You start seeing others differently. You notice who listens without judgment, and who gossips out of habit. You see who encourages your growth, and who feels threatened by it. Silence reveals truth. When you stop talking so much about your life, the wrong people lose interest. They stop showing up, because there's nothing left to feed on. The right people, however, stay. They respect your privacy, value your peace, and support your progress, even when they don't fully understand it. That's how you know who belongs in your circle. The weight of the wrong circle. Being around the wrong people doesn't always look toxic. Sometimes it just looks busy. Too many opinions. Too many distractions. Too much drama disguised as connection. You don't need to hate them. You just need to recognize that not everyone can grow with you. Growth creates distance. And that's okay. As you rise, your circle must evolve. The friends you needed for comfort might not fit in your season of growth. And the people meant for your next chapter will only appear when you make space for them. So don't feel guilty for outgrowing certain connections. You're not abandoning them. You're protecting your direction. Real-world example. The quiet climb. There was a young entrepreneur who used to share his ideas with a large group of friends. Every time he talked about his goals, They teased him, questioned him, and told him to be realistic. At first he laughed it off, but slowly he began to believe them. One day he decided to go quiet. He stopped seeking validation. He stopped explaining. Instead, he spent more time with people who were focused, disciplined and driven. The difference was immediate. His confidence grew. His results improved. And his silence deepened. Not because he feared judgment, but because he no longer needed approval. Your circle can either drain your belief or multiply it. That's why it must be chosen, not inherited. Energy exchange. The unseen economy. Every relationship is an exchange of energy. Some people give clarity. Others create confusion. Some people bring peace. Others bring chaos. When you're around someone who constantly complains or criticizes, you absorb that vibration. Your energy shifts, even if you don't realize it. Negativity is contagious, but so is excellence. That's why you must choose wisely who you let near your mind. Protect your conversations. Protect your time. Protect your emotional atmosphere. Your energy is too valuable to spend on people who don't respect it. Quality over quantity. A small focused circle will take you further than a large noisy crowd. You don't need dozens of friends. You need a few who believe in your direction and challenge you to grow. One person who truly supports your vision is worth more than 100 who casually agree with it. Because real support doesn't need to be loud. It shows up in silence. Through consistency, through understanding, through trust. If you ever find yourself feeling lonely while growing, remember this. Isolation during growth is not emptiness. It's refinement. The right people will appear once your energy aligns with your new level. The law of alignment. You attract what you are ready for. If your life is filled with gossip, doubt or distraction, that's the frequency you're operating on. When you shift your focus to purpose and discipline, your circle naturally changes. Alignment doesn't require effort. It requires authenticity. When you become clear on who you are and where you're going, the right people will recognize it, and the wrong ones will quietly fade away. That's not rejection, that's direction. Actionable steps to build a strong circle. Evaluate your current circle. Ask yourself who adds energy, who drains it. Adjust accordingly. Spend time with people who inspire action. Not just those who dream, but those who do. Limit access to your personal life. Not everyone deserves front row seats to your growth. Learn to walk alone. Solitude strengthens confidence. Once you master it, you'll never settle for shallow company again. Seek alignment, not approval. Choose people who understand your silence, not those who demand your attention. Building your circle is not about collecting people. It's about connecting with purpose. The quiet circle. There's a kind of peace that only a wise circle can bring. The peace of being around people who don't compete, who don't gossip, who don't doubt your potential. They don't need to hear your every plan because they trust your direction. They don't talk over your silence. They respect it. These are the people who sharpen your focus without demanding your energy. They challenge you privately but celebrate you publicly. They walk with you through shadows and applaud you when you shine. That is the power of a wise circle. Silent strength, shared vision and mutual respect. Closing reflection. Your circle shapes your destiny more than your circumstances ever will. You rise or fall to the level of those around you. So choose peace over popularity. Choose focus over familiarity. Choose growth over comfort. Silence will always show you who's real. When you stop explaining yourself, you'll see who still stands beside you. Those are your people. Keep them close. And for everyone else, wish them well but walk your path. Because in the end, success doesn't just depend on what you do. It depends on who you do it around. Choose your circle wisely, and your circle will choose your future. Chapter 9. Patience and Delayed Recognition. We live in a world that worships speed. Everyone wants results now. They want success without the wait, growth without the grind, and recognition without the journey. But true success doesn't work that way. It grows slowly, silently, and often in the dark, long before anyone notices it. Patience is not weakness. It's wisdom. It's the quiet understanding that time is your greatest partner, not your enemy. Those who master patience also master power, because while others chase attention, they keep building. While others seek validation, they stay focused. And when their time finally comes, it's undeniable. The truth about delayed recognition. Every success story has a hidden chapter. The chapter no one talks about. The late nights, the self-doubt, the long stretches where nothing seems to be working. These are the chapters where recognition hasn't arrived yet, but progress is happening quietly. It's slow, it's frustrating, but it's real. The world may not clap for you now, but that doesn't mean you're not growing. The applause always comes after the effort, never before. Delayed recognition is not rejection, it's refinement. It's life testing your consistency, your belief, and your patience. If you quit too soon, you'll never reach the moment when everything makes sense. Growth has seasons. Just like nature, your growth has seasons. There's the planting season when you work, study, and build. Then the waiting season when nothing seems to move. And finally, the harvest season when results start showing. Most people love planting and harvesting, but they give up in the waiting. The waiting season is quiet, sometimes painful. It feels like you're invisible. You see others winning while you're still working. You question if you're good enough, but that's the season that builds your roots. It strengthens your patience, your discipline, and your focus. The longer the foundation takes to form, the stronger the structure becomes. Real-world example: the hidden years. There's a story of a man who dreamed of becoming an author. He wrote every day for years, yet no one knew his name. His first few books sold almost nothing. Friends told him to quit, that maybe writing wasn't for him. But he didn't stop. He wrote in silence, refining his craft. He didn't seek recognition. He sought improvement. Years later, one of his books exploded in popularity. People called him an overnight success, but he smiled quietly, because he knew those 10 years of unseen effort made that overnight possible. Every success has hidden years behind it, years of patience, practice, and persistence. The psychological power of patience. Patience trains your mind to stay calm in uncertainty. It teaches you to find peace in progress rather than recognition. When you're patient, you stop comparing. You stop chasing instant approval. You begin trusting your timing. This shift gives you emotional strength. You no longer need the world's validation to feel valuable. You know your work has worth, even if no one sees it yet. Patience is emotional discipline. It's the art of not giving up just because you haven't been noticed. The trap of instant gratification. Technology has made everything faster. Communication, entertainment, even validation. We post something and wait for likes. We measure progress in numbers, not effort. But real growth doesn't work on digital time. It works on universal time, slow, deliberate, precise. Instant gratification feels good in the moment, but it robs you of depth. It makes you rush the process, skip the learning, and crave the result before you've earned it. You can't rush greatness. Every shortcut you take delays true success. And every day you stay patient builds character that shortcuts can never replace. Silence teaches patience. Silence is the soil where patience grows. When you stop talking and start working, you naturally learn to wait. You focus more on effort than outcome. You find satisfaction in the process, not just the result. Silence keeps your energy grounded. It helps you resist the pressure to prove yourself before you're ready. It reminds you that growth is internal first, visible later. Patience built in silence becomes unshakable strength. The respect that time brings. There's something powerful about people who waited. Their achievements feel solid. Their success feels earned, because they didn't skip the struggle. They embraced it. Time gives your work depth. It gives your reputation weight. When recognition finally comes, it lasts longer, because it's built on real effort, not noise. The world may ignore you today, but time will remember you tomorrow. If you stay the course. Real world parallel. The bamboo principle. A bamboo tree takes years to grow underground before it ever breaks through the surface. During that time, it looks like nothing is happening. But beneath the soil, roots are spreading deep and wide. Then almost suddenly, it grows over 80 feet tall in a few short weeks. People call it miraculous growth. But it's not. It's prepared growth. Your success works the same way. When you're patient, you're building roots. Invisible but essential. When the results come, they'll rise faster and stronger than anyone expects. Actionable ways to build patience. Measure progress privately. Track small daily wins instead of waiting for big recognition. Focus on habits, not hype. The right habits bring results even when no one's watching. Avoid comparison. Everyone's timeline is different. Stay loyal to your path. Practice daily stillness. Take a few moments each day to breathe, reflect and reset your focus. Trust time. Remind yourself that what is slow to grow is slow to fade. Patience is not about waiting passively. It's about working actively, while trusting that time will reveal your efforts. The beauty of delayed recognition. When success arrives after years of effort, it feels different. It feels deeper. You appreciate it more because you earned every inch of it. People who get things too easily rarely value them. But when you've fought for years in silence, when you've stayed patient through doubt and delay, the recognition that finally comes becomes more than applause. It becomes fulfillment. You no longer need to prove yourself. You simply exist in your purpose. Closing reflection. Patience is the quiet confidence that everything will unfold as it should. It's the calm faith that growth takes time, and that time rewards those who respect it. While others rush for quick victories, be the one who stays steady. While others chase attention, be the one who builds quietly. Because the greatest things in life never arrive fast. They arrive right. So stay patient, stay consistent, keep building when no one's watching. Because the day will come when the world finally notices, and they'll call you lucky, not knowing how long you waited for that moment. Patience is your silent superpower, and delayed recognition is not a setback. It's the confirmation that your foundation is strong enough to last forever. Chapter 10. Let success announce itself. Success doesn't need a microphone. It doesn't shout. It doesn't beg to be noticed. It simply arrives. Calm, confident, and undeniable. The loudest people are often still chasing it. The quiet ones are building it. And when their success finally appears, it speaks for itself. That's the beauty of silent work. You don't have to explain your effort when your results are visible. You don't have to prove your worth when your actions already have. When you let success announce itself, your achievement becomes effortless proof. Proof that you worked, that you stayed focused, and that you believed in your path long before anyone else did. The noise before the win. Before success comes silence, long periods of unseen effort, uncelebrated discipline, and quiet persistence. The world may not notice that stage, but it's the most important one. That's where you build skill. That's where you strengthen consistency. That's where you become the kind of person who can handle success when it arrives. The noise of constant announcement doesn't accelerate progress. It distracts from it. When you work in silence, you build depth. When you focus on your craft, instead of your image, your results grow roots. And when those results bloom, they command attention without asking for it. The power of natural revelation. There's something unforgettable about unplanned recognition. When your work speaks for itself, it's more powerful than any introduction you could give. Think of a musician who doesn't hype their next release but drops a song that moves millions. Think of a business owner who doesn't talk about growth but quietly expands into new cities. Think of a leader who doesn't post about goals but inspires through consistent action. Their success announces itself, because genuine results don't need a marketing campaign. They're visible, undeniable, and magnetic. When you master your craft, people will talk about you even when you say nothing. Real-world example: the quiet creator. There was a young designer who rarely shared his projects online. He wasn't chasing likes or recognition. He was chasing excellence. For years, he refined his style, studied design theory, and built quietly. While others sought attention, he sought improvement. Then one day, one of his projects went viral. Clients flooded his inbox. People called him a rising star. But he wasn't rising. He was ready. He had been preparing all along. He just let success speak when the time was right. That's what happens when you stop trying to announce progress. Progress announces you. Why quiet success feels stronger. Loud success is fragile. It depends on validation. It needs applause to survive. But quiet success is rooted. It grows from discipline, not desire. It's fueled by purpose, not praise. When you let success announce itself, it carries a certain weight, a calm authority that can't be faked. People can sense it. They respect it because it feels real. You didn't force their attention. You earned it. The ego versus the work. The ego wants to show. The work wants to grow. The ego says, "Look at me." The work says, "Let me speak when I'm ready." When you choose to let the work lead, you remove pressure. You give yourself time to build properly, to create something lasting. You stop caring about what others think, and start caring about what you're becoming. And when you do that, recognition arrives naturally. The strength of silent confidence. There's a quiet power in knowing you've done the work, even if no one has seen it yet. You walk differently. You speak calmly. You don't need to prove anything, because you already know your value. That's what happens when your confidence comes from competence. It's not loud. It's steady. When you let success announce itself, your results become your voice. And that voice carries further than any self-promotion ever could. How to let success speak naturally. Detach from validation. Don't build for praise. Build for progress. Master consistency. Small, steady effort creates louder results than sporadic bursts of noise. Trust timing. Great things reveal themselves when they're ready, not when you're impatient. Stay grounded. When recognition arrives, silence built your success. Don't let noise destroy it. Remember the roots. Keep working quietly, even after you're seen. Visibility is not the end. It's the beginning of higher responsibility. These principles keep your growth sustainable, your energy focused, and your humility intact. Real recognition needs no introduction. When you've truly mastered your path, people can feel it. They recognize authenticity instantly. It's in your calmness, your clarity, your presence. Real recognition is not something you demand. It's something you attract. You attract it through discipline, dedication, and silence. You earn it through patience, not promotion. And when it comes, you won't need to explain a thing. Your results will tell the story. The freedom of letting go. When you stop trying to control how others see you, you become free. Free from pressure. Free from performance. Free from comparison. You no longer chase the spotlight. You create your own light. You no longer seek applause. You seek alignment. And ironically, that's when people begin to notice. Because authenticity always shines brighter than attention seeking. And silence is always louder than noise. When the results are real. Closing reflection. Letting success announce itself is the highest form of confidence. It's the declaration that you trust your work more than your words. It's the patience to let time reveal what effort has built. You don't need to tell the world what you're becoming. You just need to keep becoming it. The right people will notice. The right opportunities will appear. And your results will speak louder than any introduction ever could. So build quietly. Stay humble. Keep your head down and your standards high. Because one day, your silence will become your story. And your results will speak your name long after you've stopped talking. That is the power of letting success announce itself. You don't chase attention. You attract respect. And that, more than anything, is the true reward of private growth. Conclusion. Move in quiet. Arrive in power. There comes a time when you realize the loud life isn't the powerful one. Noise is cheap. Silence is strength. You don't need to prove your worth. You don't need to announce your next move. You just need to move. Quietly, intentionally, and with purpose. Because real power doesn't come from what others think of you. It comes from what you build when no one is watching. The strength you found in silence. As you've walked through these chapters, you've learned something deeper than just discipline. You've learned control. Control over your words. Control over your focus. Control over your energy. You've seen that silence sharpens clarity. You've seen that privacy protects peace. You've seen that patience builds strength. You no longer need to shout about your dreams. You no longer need to seek validation, because you now understand. The moment you stop talking about what you will do, you start doing it. And that's when transformation begins. The quiet revolution within. Every person who changes their life begins in silence. It's an invisible revolution, one that happens in thought, in habit, in spirit. You start saying less. You start observing more. You start choosing carefully where your energy goes. And slowly, life begins to align with you. The noise fades. The distractions fall away. Your path becomes clearer, sharper, stronger. You realize that your quiet moments are not empty. They are full of power. They're the spaces where your best ideas form, your deepest strength grows, and your truest self begins to lead. The quiet is not your weakness. It's your preparation. The world notices when you don't try to be noticed. The paradox of silence is simple. When you stop chasing attention, attention starts chasing you. People are drawn to calm energy. They're intrigued by quiet confidence. They respect consistency more than commentary. You don't have to speak loudly to be heard. You just have to live authentically, work relentlessly, and let time reveal your truth. When your results arrive, they'll speak a language louder than words, the language of undeniable proof. Real power is subtle. Power is not found in volume, it's found in presence. It's found in restraint. It's found in knowing what deserves your voice and what doesn't. The most powerful people rarely explain themselves. They don't argue. They don't defend. They simply act. And their results create clarity for everyone else. When you move in quiet, you stop reacting and start directing. You stop following and start leading. You stop wasting energy on noise and start channeling it toward purpose. The legacy of private growth. What you build in silence lasts longer, because it's built on real foundations, not validation, not attention but conviction. Private growth means no shortcuts, no pretending, no performances. It's you versus your old self every day. It's you improving when no one is watching. It's you pushing through without applause. And when the world finally sees the results, it won't just be surprised, it will be inspired. Because the strongest message you'll ever send is not spoken, it's shown. Actionable wisdom for the road ahead. Protect your plans. Let time and progress be your only announcements. Embrace silence daily. Make space for stillness. It's where clarity lives. Stay grounded in purpose. Let your vision, not validation, guide your steps. Be patient with your process. Great things grow slowly, but they last longer. Move with calm confidence. Don't compete in noise. Excel in discipline. Every quiet decision you make strengthens your future. Every silent effort compounds into visible success. The final truth. The world will always chase attention. Let it. You're chasing mastery. You're chasing peace. You're chasing purpose. When you learn to move in quiet, you become unpredictable, untouchable, unstoppable. People won't see you coming. They'll only see you arrive. And when you do, you won't need to say a word. Your results will speak your name. Your calm will command respect. Your presence will carry power. That's the reward of silence. That's the promise of private growth. So go forward quietly. Work deeply, think clearly. Grow privately. Because those who move in quiet arrive in power.